This is Jason Spangler with Scout Patch Collector's Trade-O-Ree calendar. I've got on the line here Ron Aldridge, who is sponsoring a Trade-O-Ree in Dallas, Texas in January 25th and 26th of 2019. Ron, what can you tell us about the Dallas National Trade-O-Ree?
Well, this is our 41st annual Dallas National Trade-O-Ree. We're getting good at it, I think. But it's really a great time. There's lots of traders. There's lots of tables. There's lots of dollars in the room. And best of all, there's just a lot of really, really good people that come every year and trade patches, buy and sell patches, and just have a good time.
When you say that this is the National Trade-O-Ree, I was there last year, and I really can say, from my experience, there were collectors there from California and I think Oregon, sort of the West Coast, and then you have the collectors from the East Coast and the Midwest. A lot of people flew into this Trade-O-Ree, so it really did have that feel of kind of a national event.
Yeah, I experience that every time, and the really neat thing is that we get new people every time. The Trade-O-Ree basically, in Grapevine, we have the whole convention center. It's a building. It's not a large building, but we've got everything in it. And so we've got the capability of having food. We've got lots of room for the traders. There's one large room, which is always sold out fast, and then there's a medium-sized room, which I still have tables for, and I'm still selling those. The initial reaction I'm getting is that this is going to be much bigger than the last few years based on the tables that we've sold and the people that are coming. So I think people are ready for a good Trade-O-Ree. They're ready for a good time, and we're here for them.
And this year there's no other sort of national Boy Scouting event happening. I mean, the World Scout Jamboree is definitely big on the calendar, but that's not really going to be a draw for our collecting community. And so a Trade-O-Ree like yours might be the one chance that people have this year in 2019 to really all come together in person.
Well, and the nice thing is that the Dallas Trade-O-Ree, DFW Airport is an easy airport to get to, and the Trade-O-Ree is not that far from the airport, so you don't have to rent a car unless you want to. There's a lot of people coming in. I've had people tell me that they got off the plane and they looked around and found a couple of traders and got in the car with them. Our group is friendly enough that kind of thing happens a lot. Also, the night before the Trade-O-Ree, on Thursday, there's always a party at Dave Thomas's house. And if you get one of the flyers for the Trade-O-Ree, it will tell you where to go and how to get there. That party is always a good one. There's no cost to it. The only requirement is you have to be a patch trader, and it's all good. And
in the Trade-O-Ree flyer, it suggests folks staying at the Super 8 in Grapevine. I think that's where I stayed last year. There's a lot of people there.
There's a lot of people there. We have a reduced room rate of $89 a night, which in the Dallas area is really a good price. There are enough people in there that usually they congregate, and after the Trade-O-Ree closes at 11, everybody goes back to the motel, and there's a good-sized room. There seems to be lots of traders that find their way into that room, and sometimes the trading goes on into the wee hours.
And I'll say one observation I made last year was a typical Trade-O-Ree, people start bugging out pretty early on Saturday, but what I noticed on Saturday was people hung around for a long time. And in fact, you might have had to run them out there at the end, 7, 8 o'clock at night on Saturday. There was still a crowd hanging around.
Yeah, and we like that. We like that. People come a fair distance, some of them, and they want to have a good time, and they want a couple of full days of trading and buying and selling, and they get that.
Now, Ron, I know you're not in charge of the ISCA part of this event, but it is on the Trade-O-Ree flyer. Can you just kind of explain to people what the connection is there with ISCA and your Trade-O-Ree?
Well, I'm one of the founders of ISCA. My ISCA number is number 1. And because of that, in my tie to ISCA, ISCA got involved very early in the Trade-O-Ree itself and having their board meeting prior to the Trade-O-Ree. And we have set aside a good part of Saturday with various classes that go on, put on by ISCA. And it always starts out with the first hour being all about ISCA and what's going on and how we're coming with this and that project and kind of bringing people up to date. And then there's various patch experts that come in and talk about their specialty areas. And all that's good. And that's going on at the same time that trading and everything else is going on. So if you want to do the ISCA or a part of it, you can. If you want to just trade patches, you can do that too.
That sounds great. Well, Ron, thank you so much for letting me interview just real quick on the phone here, sharing the information about your 41st annual Dallas National Trade-O-Ree. I have a Trade-O-Ree calendar over at scoutpatchcollectors.com where people can download the flyer, and it has your contact information there. And I believe you also have Dave Thomas listed as a contact for this show as well.
That's correct.